In this series, we're going to look at mixing drums and percussions, synths, and vocals. If you want to learn more mixing techniques, make sure you check out our courses at pointblanklondon.com. Hi, Rob Rocks here for Point Blank Music School. This is part 3 from mixing in Logic Pro X, and today we focus on vocals. First, let's listen to the final master. We've got a few vocal parts over here, and I'll show you how I treated them. Over here we got the lead vocal. This is the vocal that was given to me.
Got you wrapped in golden chains. Don't need a lock, 'cause I know you'll stay. You're only here to entertain.
Really great performance, great recording. I just felt that the recording was a bit muddy, and I felt that the vocal should shine a little bit more. So I started with an EQ.
Got you wrapped in golden chains. Don't need a lock, 'cause I know you'll stay. You're only here to entertain till I decide.
I cut between 200 and 1K to reduce the muddiness a little bit. I boosted at 1K and I boosted again at 5K, and the high shelf at around 10. Then the next thing is a basic vocal compressor. I really like the 11T76 on vocals. This one is with a medium release time.
Got you wrapped in golden chains. Don't need a lock, 'cause I know you'll stay. You're only here to entertain till I decide to throw you away.
I've added another EQ. Pretty much the same what I did with the first EQ. I cut the mids at 300, I boosted at 5K and at 1K.
Got you wrapped in golden chains. Don't need a lock, 'cause I know you'll stay. You're only here to entertain till I.
Then again, 11T76 with a faster release, so that the vocal is a little bit more in your face.
Got you wrapped in golden chains. Don't need a lock, 'cause I know you'll stay. You're only here to.
One more EQ with pretty much the same settings. A little dip around 400. The top end boost at around 10K. So as you can see, I used the 3 EQs with small adjustments. You can use one EQ with dramatic cuts and boosts, but I feel that it sounds a lot more natural and more dynamic if you use more than one EQ. And for example, this EQ, I mean, every EQ has its own character, so this EQ is a bit more analog than this one. So this is how I do it. Then I used the multiband compressor. I really like the C4 on vocals.
Got you wrapped in golden chains. Don't need a lock, 'cause I know you'll stay. You're only here to entertain.
I use this multiband for the lower mids between 100 and 600. I can use an EQ to cut out all these frequencies, but I feel that it's a lot more natural and dynamic if I just compress them. So attack and release times are very important for this technique.
Don't need a luck, 'cause I know you'll stay. You're only here to entertain, till I decide to throw you away. You get high.
So at the end, I used the clariphonic just to add a little bit of clarity to the mix and a little bit of shine.
Got you wrapped in golden chains. Don't need a lock, 'cause I know you'll stay. You're only here to entertain, till I decide to throw you away.
Okay, that's all about the insert effects. Let's go on with the sound effects. This track doesn't have a lot of vocal reverb, but I want to show you some techniques how you can easily add excitement to the vocals. The first one is the famous so-called Abbey Road reverb trick. I mean, there are a lot of like tutorials on YouTube. This is a bus 2, which is a large reverb, and the Abbey Road reverb trick is just filtering the reverb. You can do it before the reverb or afterwards. I usually do it before the signal, before I send the signal to the reverb.
Got you wrapped in golden chains.
It's just filtering out the low end and the high end, and I usually do a small cut at 1K to separate the reverb from the lead vocal.
To throw you away, you get high off just a little, and I like it. Got you wrapped in golden chains.
Sounds a lot smoother.
'Cause I know you'll stay.
The next thing I want to show you is after that, you can add like any plugin like distortion, saturation, tape machines, dimension expanders. I recently used a tremolo effect, which was pretty cool. Let's listen to that.
Got you wrapped in golden chains. Don't need a lock, 'cause I know you'll stay. You're only here to entertain, till I decide to throw you away. You get
Yeah, I really like that effect. So you can be very creative with reverbs. What I always do is after the reverb, I put a stereo imager. The lead vocal is in the middle of the stereo field, and I want the reverb to build around this vocal. So that's why I cut it at 1K, and I also wanna increase the stereo imaging of the reverb.
Got you wrapped in golden chains. Don't need a lock, 'cause I know you'll stay. You're only here to entertain, till I decide.
Sometimes if you have like a low male vocal and you want to lift up this vocal, you can add a pitch shifter before the reverb. Let's try that. So this is an octave, which is pretty dramatic.
Got you wrapped in golden chains.
But if we just change it to a few cents,
you're only here to entertain, till I decide to throw you away. You get high off just a little, and I like it. Got you wrapped in golden chains. Don't need a lot.
Yeah, I really like that too. So the reverb, but the whole vocal lifts up if you add this technique. I also want to think about the routing, because like that, the signal runs through all the EQs and compression, and then it goes into the reverb. But sometimes, especially for ballads, it's better to copy the dry vocal without EQ and compression and send that to the reverb, because then if the singer performs a very powerful part, the reverb increases a lot, or you get this impact, and like that you can emphasize these powerful parts or magic moments. I've got a few of these techniques on the delay. Bus 11 is a regular 1/8 delay mono, but I want to focus on bus 12 over here. So the first thing I did is I filtered the signal before I send it to the reverb, which is the Abbey Road reverb trick. This one is a half note delay.
Got you wrapped in golden chains. Don't need a lock, 'cause I know you'll stay. You're only here to entertain.
Okay, pretty cool. Then I've added a compressor, and I triggered the compressor with the vocal itself. I already did a tutorial where I explained the details, but again, it means that whenever she sings, the delay gets compressed and is more in the back. But when she's doing the vocal breaks, and the delay gets more to the front and is filling the gaps between the phrases, it also helps to get a more organic feeling.
Got you wrapped in golden chains. Don't need a lock, 'cause I know you'll stay. You're only here to entertain.
And then at the end, I've added a little bit of distortion, and this is a stereo expander, the Logic stock plugin called Direction Mixer.
Chains. Don't need a lock, 'cause I know you'll stay.
Okay, the last thing I want to show you is the harmonizer. I already did a tutorial on this one, but I use that for every lead vocals in my mixes, so I think it's pretty important. This is the plugin. It's just a double on the left and the right side with a little bit of detune and delay. So if I increase the amount, you're hearing this chorus effect. But if it's very subtle, it makes the vocal fuller in a very natural way.
And I like it. Got you wrapped in.
Okay, for the parallel compression, in this special case, because the vocal was very, very dry, instead of using just a basic compressor, I used Nectar, and I've added a lot of reverb and saturation to the parallel compression chain. I think it feels a bit more exciting than just a compressor.
Got you wrapped in golden chains.
With it,
don't need a lock, 'cause I know you'll stay. You're only here to entertain.
Without.
Till I decide to throw you away. You get high off just a little, and I like it.
Okay, the last thing I want to show you is the hook over here. The lead vocal has the same settings, and all the doubles and all the harmonies, they go to this master channel, which has different settings. We already talked about that with the mid-side EQ, but I want to show you this plugin. It's called Sample Delay. It's a Logic stock plugin where you can easily put a delay on one side, and that will increase the stereo imaging.
'Cause I just wanna play. You get high off just a little. You get high off just a little. You get high off you get high off just a little. You get high off just a little.
Okay, that was the vocal part. Thanks for watching.